Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.
Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon.
And I am Marcus Mack, and this is the EAC Show coming to you from sunny South Florida with episode 99.
Episode 99, we're going to recap Week 6 NFL. Marcus Mack, I'm the Week 5 champ. You were the Week 4 champ. I'm going to be the Week 6 champ as well. It's looking really, really good for me with my picks, Marcus. Marcus, there's a couple of picks in there that you literally had right and decided to go the other way. Sometimes I don't understand. Like, you're getting good at this, but you don't even listen to yourself. You know and I know, once a team fires a head coach, that next week, they come out busting on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's like, to me, I feel like this with anything. I feel like, especially when you're dealing with a team effort, when you have a chemistry, once the chemistry is broken, it takes some time to get that chemistry back going. You understand what I'm saying? And for Atlanta to do this to the Vikings, now mind you, the Vikings were 0-5. The Falcons were excuse me. Yes.
No, they were 0-5.
The Vikings were 0-5. The Falcons were 5-0.
No. You're saying it wrong.
Okay.
The Vikings were 1-4. The Falcons were 0.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the Falcons were 0-5.
Yes.
Right. So y'all get this win off, y'all first win for the season so far on Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
By 17, excuse me. 17. What was the spread on that game?
You know what? I actually forgot. I know that the Vikings were favored to win that game. I don't remember what the spread was off the top of my head, Marcus.
It could have been like 3, because I know there was a lot of 3, 2.5.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head, Marcus. But you and I discussed this, and we talked about it. When a GM or coach gets fired, the next week you can expect them to play their asses off for that head coach. That's just the way it works. Just the way it works. Now, mind you, Atlanta's had a few games where they had the lead in these games, so their record is skewed, and they blow the lead, so that's different. But this is a straight massacre.
This is horrible. Now, let's talk about the Green Bay and Buccaneers game for a second.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about that game, Marcus, and I want to tell you something. That game is a game where Green Bay was looking really, really good to start off the game. Aaron Rodgers was balling, and then he throws 2 interceptions. One was a pick 6 to the house that the Tampa Bay Bucs sprung at. And once he threw that second interception, game was done. The Green Bay Packers were never the same team after that. Literally, they were done. Tampa Bay literally went on a scoring run and just blew out the Green Bay Packers, Marcus Mack. Now, that is a moment where, something within the game changes, and the minute that happens, the whole game flips on a different end. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, when the momentum changes, yeah, it gets ugly.
And we all had Green Bay. You had Green Bay. I had Green Bay. Cam had Green Bay. We all lost that game.
I just didn't see Tom Brady making a real, like a comeback like that. I feel like him with that team is going to take him some time. Not against the Packers.
But that wasn't the case. See, that's what I'm telling you. Because in the beginning, Tom Brady had like 12 yards or 22 yards thrown in like first quarter and a half. He wasn't the reason why they came back. They came back because their defense was killing it. You know what I'm saying? They made Aaron Rodgers make mistakes. Aaron Rodgers had 2 interceptions before Aaron Rodgers threw 2 touchdowns. So, Tampa Bay's defense was the reason why they won that game more than anything else, Marcus Mack. We got another game. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the shit on you Cleveland Browns. That was one game you almost messed up. I'm glad you jumped on the right side, Marcus. We all were on Pittsburgh. You were going to go with Cleveland and decided because the game was in Pittsburgh, you switched your choice.
But I knew that game was going to slide in that direction. You know what game really, I don't think it was a surprise, but, bro, the Miami against the Jets,
I'm always gonna pick the Jets plus the spread. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just a homer, honestly.
Bro,
Real talk.
24-0.
Yeah, it was 0. It was a bad thing. Shout out to Tua Tagovailoa. He actually made his appearance. Marcus Mack. He had almost a career-ending injury at Alabama, a hip injury, and he's the backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. He ended up coming in with 2 minutes left in the game. The crowd that was there was really, really excited. Everybody was excited on the sidelines, and it was really, really touching. Maybe you can insert this after when you're doing the editing on this episode, Marcus. They showed a little video or a picture of Tua coming back on the field when the game was over. He went to where they finished the game off on the end of the field. He FaceTimed his parents that weren't at the game because he wanted them to be part of this process because it was his first start. Not his first start, but his first playing time. So he wanted them to be part of this process. So it was a really, really nice moment that he had with his family on FaceTime after the game in full uniform, just him by himself. Oh, the game.
I'm thinking about the big upsets. That's the ones I'm thinking about right now. I already knew the Cardinals was going to do that to Dallas. Already seen that one coming.
The Broncos and Patriots. That's the biggest one.
I thought we talked about that one already. Yeah. It wasn't a huge L.
No, we talked about that on the pre-show. We didn't talk about that now.
Yeah. It wasn't a huge L, but I didn't think the Broncos would have took that one.
Let me explain something to you. Drew Lock, who's the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, is 23 years old. He now becomes the youngest player to ever go into Foxborough and beat Bill Belichick. Literally. That never happens. Like, never, ever, ever happens.
Oh, they don't send young guys at Belichick?
No, because you're not gonna win. Belichick knows. He knows it. You're not gonna. Matter of fact, in that game, Marcus, Denver didn't score a touchdown. It was all field goals. He literally didn't score a touchdown the whole game. It was all field goals, fam.
I mean, hey, man, slow money better than no money.
As the Dallas Cowboys just throw an interception, and Arizona's pretty much in control of this game. I can only imagine how Stephen A. Smith is going to snap tomorrow on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what Skip got to say.
You got the Bengals covering the spread on the Colts. The Colts ended up winning the game, but the Bengals did cover the spread. You got the Lions beating up on the Jacksonville Jaguars. You and I both had the Lions, and Cameron had the Jaguars in that game. Rams and 49ers. Cam actually had the 49ers in that game, even though I got his text message after the show was over. I had the Rams. You had the Rams, so that wasn't a good look for us. I'm trying to think about the game of the day. The game of the day was Derrick Henry, King Henry, running for 212 yards. Like, he was just manhandling. He's such an animal, Marcus Mack. He's literally a grown man playing against babies.
The odds are not in anyone's favor on the field with him.
First off, some of the stuff that he does is freakish, Marcus. I'll explain it to you. This man is like 6'4", something like that. He's 260-plus pounds. They topped him running when he was running because he ran a 94-yard touchdown. They topped him at his highest speed when he was running at 23 miles an hour. That doesn't even make sense. Could you imagine if the cops were chasing him?
They had to jump on bikes. We can't catch him. Get in the car. We need a squad car.
Uber catch that motherfucker.
Word. So who we got is still undefeated right now?
Okay, so undefeated teams in the NFL.
Titans.
Tennessee,
still undefeated.
Pittsburgh is still undefeated. I'm looking. Hold on. I'm looking.
Eagles game.
Oh, the Eagles. They ended up covering the spread, but they lost.
Did they have a postponed game or something? Philly?
Who?
Philly.
No.
No, right?
No. Kansas City ended up winning today. They covered the spread. They beat your rough Buffalo Bills.
Oh man. Yo, listen, I ain't tell you, I went outside to get something to eat from somewhere. And there was a guy in it was like 3 of them. It was like 3 guys in a golf cart. This was outside in like regular complex, like with restaurants and stuff. They was in a golf cart with speakers on it, screaming at the top of their lungs about Buffalo Bills. Go Bills! Yeah!
That's part of Bills. They call it the fan club. They call it Bills Mafia. That's part of Bills Mafia, Marcus.
Bro,
Bills
I don't know
Mafia
where my camera was, but I wish I had it.
Yo, if you ever get a chance, you look up Bills Mafia on YouTube. You'll see like these guys go to like tailgates at like before games, and they do like wrestling WWE. They take people off like of a truck, and they'll throw them onto a table, and they break the table, and they go nuts. And it has absolutely nothing to do with football. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So you think they're worse in Buffalo than they are in Miami or Dallas?
Oh yeah, of course, without question. Those fans. That's all they got up there. That's why. That's all they got up there. They don't really have anything else, pretty much, Marcus.
And who has the worst record right now?
Oh, it's me. It's the Jets.
The Jets got the worst record?
Yeah, the Jets suck. We don't even have a win.
I mean,
it's bad, Marcus. We don't even have a win. The Washington football team has a win, and we don't even have a win.
The Ravens also have a very good record, too. Baltimore has a very good record.
Yeah. There's only 2 undefeated teams in the whole league.
I think the Jaguars and Atlanta have the worst records in the league.
No, it's the Jets first. There's a bunch of them. It's the Jets, it's Washington, it's the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
The Jaguars, it's Atlanta. The Jets is number 1, though.
At least they number 1 at something.
The number 1 loser. That's what we are.
Oh man, Gary Vaynerchuk, all of the big time.
Gary V.
Yeah, Gary V. He's a big Jets guy. Mean Green. Sorry, Gary.
Marcus Mack, we got to touch on this now because I said I was going to talk about it once we got there. So we got the Tampa Bay Rays ended up beating the cheating Houston Astros as they advanced to the World Series, and the Los Angeles Dodgers ended up beating the Atlanta Braves, and they are in the World Series. So we got the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, Marcus, I'm going to break this down to you real quick because you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers doing good in the NFL. You got the Tampa Bay Lightning that won the Stanley Cup in hockey. And now we got the Tampa Bay Rays who are in the World Series. Marcus Mack, this is a battle of David versus Goliath, and I'm going to explain why. The Tampa Bay Rays have no superstars. None. No name, big name players, no nothing. They are a gritty, grinded out team. Their payroll overall for the whole year is $62 million. You listening to me?
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are glitz and glamour, superstar here, superstar there, this, that, and third, blah, blah, blah. Yo, the Los Angeles Dodgers payroll nears about $200 million this year overall. How this is even possible is beyond me. Who do you think wins the World Series? You going with the Dodgers or you going to ride with Tampa Bay, Marcus?
Who got the Astros out of there?
Tampa.
Tampa, right? I'm going to rock with Tampa just because. I mean, just because. They was the guys to get them out of here, man. Get them out of here.
So, Marcus, I'm going to give you a little bit of history. So, the guy who runs the baseball operations for the Dodgers used to run the baseball operation for the Tampa Bay Rays. So, basically, his blueprint on what he put on how they should win was left in Tampa. Like, he literally set up shop in Tampa, got them to be a competitive team. They win games every year, whatever. And then he ended up getting a better job with the Dodgers. So if you really think about it, the one that's winning the most is Andrew Friedman. He's the guy who's in control of the Los Angeles Dodgers right now. So he set up shop, did his thing in Tampa, said, all right, I'm going on to more money in LA, but here, you guys are in good hands. Left his youngins, I want to sit there and say, underneath him to run the show. They're running the show under what he structured over there. And now he has both of his, his ideas, I want to sit there and say, or his master plan working because both teams are in the World Series.
Yeah, that's a hell of an accolade there.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if you did that at any other sport? You know how much they would be talking about you, Marcus?
Well, why not? Why are they not talking about it in baseball?
Because it's not it's not as pretty. Like, it's not as, like, you know, there's more factors to it. You know, it's not necessarily like he's playing the games. You understand? He believes in you don't have to overplay for players. You could just get guys that are just, you know, guys that go all out for you, and you can still win games. You know, he thinks about it more of the mathematics of the sport, not necessarily how the sport is being played. And a lot of people don't like that. But you know what? When you got two teams that you had touched personally with your own hands in the World Series, who can deny him? It's like for you, Marcus, right? Let's say you're doing business with somebody, but you don't like the way they do business, but they're successful. And then they're successful working with peanuts. Now, all of a sudden, they're working with, you know, actual resources. So their peanuts is doing good, and their actual resources is doing even better. What are you going to sit there and tell him?
I mean, business is business.
As Arizona scores another touchdown. Oh, my God. It's 28-3 right now in the third quarter, Marcus.
Sorry, Skip. Bad out there for you guys.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, Stephen A is going to wait till right after the game and just he's going to make a video on Instagram as soon as the game's over. It's just going to be of him laughing. That's all it's going to be. It's just going to be of him. And you know what? It's smart. And I'm going to tell you why it's smart. Because he's been a partner of Stephen A. And Stephen A and Skip have been partners for so long. He knows it bothers Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is on a rival, you know, network. He's on ESPN. He's on Fox. He don't like the Cowboys. He likes the Cowboys. Stephen A, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. He's a professional shit stirrer.
I know we have to cover week 7 coming up, Marcus Mack, on Effort Friday. We're going to try for Effort Friday. We're going to try to get as many people as we can, either on the Zoom call or in person, for that episode 100. Because episode 100.
We got episode 100 on an Effort Friday?
Jesus. I'm going to make sure, because I don't think we're going to be able to shoot on Wednesday. I might have to do some things. So you're going to have to make Effort Friday the episode 100, Marcus Mack.
We might have to. I can't even lie. Wednesday was sounding real nice.
100 episodes.
Yeah, bro. Came a long way.
Let's talk a little bit about what we went through to shoot 100 episodes, Marcus. What was like one of the most funniest moments for you? Like, you're like, oh, shit. But now you look back on it, you can laugh about it. You know what I'm saying?
The funniest moment? Probably early days when we all was in the studio. Like when we first started, before the whole Corona thing.
Right.
But there was so many funny nights when y'all caught me eating the celery sticks and the barbecue sauce. When you bought them 20-piece wings that taste like ketchup. They were supposed to be barbecue,
God.
Definitely ketchup.
For all you guys, Marcus is a wing connoisseur, so I bought some barbecue wings and he ain't like the barbecue, so he said it tastes like ketchup. So he was beating me up over it. Not to mention that there was other types of wings there as well, but Marcus was still beating me up over it.
Yeah, because by the time I finished setting up, everybody had already finished eating. So all that was left was the ketchup.
So for me, Marcus, I'll be honest with you, I think it has a lot more to do with the stuff that's behind the scenes that people don't really get a chance to see, because you do an amazing job on the show. And shout out to everybody else that's helped out, like Clarence, CJ, Joey Benetti, Omar Blanco, Cameron, Anthony Nieves, Jordan Crate. Was when we used to sit there, and we always used to do this after every show. We used to do a post-production pick. You know, we were real happy with the work that we were trying to produce, as learning on the fly more than anything else. And in the beginning of the episodes, we used to think the shit was glorious. Like, yo, it sounds so good. And then come to find out this shit is pure ass quality. We're sounding like shit. I'm peeking left and right. We don't know what's going on. And we're like, what the hell? The actual growth to see from what we're doing in the beginning to where we're at right now, that's to me, that's the most enjoyable part.
This first 100 episodes was definitely a learning experience. Big learning experience.
So you want to talk about learning on the job? This is definitely learning on the job 101.
Tell me about it. When I didn't have a laptop and I was using other people's laptops to edit oh man.
Whatever gets it done, right?
Yeah, man.
Do you remember the episode? Do you remember the episode, Marcus, where we recorded the episode? This is the very beginning stages. I think we were on Zoom and shit, and we had a really good episode. Everything was cool. Blah 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 blah. And then the whole thing disappeared.
Yeah, and I lost the episode. Yo, I was just thinking about that. I was thinking like, damn, we had lost episodes and all that. I don't even know we still put that episode out, and I have no idea how we managed to get that episode out. All I know is we lost the footage, and that was that. And I was just like, oh man,
we have to fill our audience in on the Thomas Jones incident. We have to say it.
Computers. So. Oh yeah, that was another learning experience. Oh man!
So if you guys haven't checked it out, you guys can go back and look up in the archives the Thomas Jones interview. So Marcus, myself, we go interview Thomas. Shout out to Thomas. We appreciate him letting us interview Thomas Q. Jones, letting us interview him. So we get there. We set the whole thing up. Shout out to Marcus. The scenery is gorgeous. It's elaborate. It's off the hook. It's on his patio, overseeing the pool that jumps into the lake. You know, all beautiful, beautiful scenery. So we get there, and once again, it's learning on the fly. We get there, and myself and Marcus are so caught up in trying to make sure that we get this interview done the right way and within the time frame, because we're limited on time based off his availability. And we get there, and we set the whole thing up, and we didn't even check if the electricity on the patio worked.
Oh, man, bro. We spent at least about 20 minutes looking for an extension cord. Oh man, it was so much missing. We had the perfect scenery. Everything was set up by the pool. It's like, nah, that's not gonna work. There's no electricity out here. All right, fine. Let's go inside. We get inside. We do the entire show, and I wasn't aware of lighting. I just was not aware, and the lights that we had
just wasn't enough.
Efficient. Yeah. So, oh man, and mind you, that's one of the best shows we ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and then we do the interview with Sean. We do the interview with Sean.
Oh, man.
And then we're trying to explain to Sean, we're not gonna throw you under the bus. We're not gonna throw you under the bus. You know what I'm saying? So Sean's kind of like being very, very, making sure he says all the right things. Shout out to Sean Anderson, pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. So he's trying to make sure that he says all the right things. You know what I'm saying? And then as soon as the interview ends, he's like, "What do you really want to know?" I was like, "Yo, what do you mean?"
Yeah. And the funny thing about that episode was that you can tell that he was trying to pay attention to every question before he answered, and he was just like there was always a pause after every answer, unless it was a ongoing question. But every new question, he paused for a second.
After we put because we really didn't have to edit that episode. So after we put that out and he saw it, he was like, "Man, look." He said, "I should have gave y'all guys a lot more. Next time I will." I didn't know it was going to be like that. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun because he was kind of like, in between. He didn't know what he could talk about with COVID and all that. So, I mean, it's totally understandable. And I think the worst, I don't want to say worst interview because that's bad, but I think the worst footage we ever had was the footage we got of Juju Phillips, because I don't know what he was using or how old his laptop was.
Yeah.
You couldn't even see him.
Yeah, his recording had a lot of noise in it. For those of you that don't know what noise is, visual noise is like when you see the specs and it looks staticky. It was a lot of that on his thing. So, we definitely learned when doing Zoom calls with other people, try to brief them before time on what camera to use or, depending on what laptop they use. But that one we couldn't help though. And
hey, he was our first interview.
Yeah. And
you remember how we felt after that was done?
Was that the first? That was our first interview. Yes, it was. And then we did TJ, then we did Mike.
No, then we did Sean, then we did Mike.
Then we did Sean, then we did Mike. Right. The Mike, Mike Schwarren. Yeah, that episode was actually slept on. That was a really good episode too.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. I mean, he represents the Rock. Shout out to Mike Schwarren. He represents the Rock Nation Sports. It was a little bit on the fly because we were supposed to shoot live, and then obviously there was an incident where one of somebody that Mike was around or whatever was suspected of have COVID. It ended up coming back negative, but we used precautions, so we shot it through Zoom, even though we wanted to shoot in person. I just feel like Marcus, and we were back in the studio the other day. Unfortunately, today we couldn't shoot this episode in the studio, but I just feel like when you shoot here or when you shoot through Zoom, it's a lot harder. We do our best, but it's a lot harder. When you shoot in person, the feeling, the organic, the back and forth, the playfulness, it just comes out more.
Yeah, the interaction. It's the interaction. It's definitely the interaction. I think for me, in post, the edit is a whole lot better. The way the show looks, the way it feels, and everything, it's a whole lot better when you shoot in person.
Right. Absolutely.
But listen, episode 100, we'll have 100 more for you guys, and a whole lot more interviews, next 100 episodes, and a lot better work.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna do Week 7 previews on Epic Friday. And Marcus, just for the record, tomorrow is Game 1 of the World Series. Los Angeles Dodgers, Tampa Bay Rays. Who wins Game 1? Give me a prediction. You gotta treat it like you were treating Denver versus the Lakers, homie. Because I remember you were like, the Lakers gonna win Game 1, but Denver.
I was really into it. I was really into it. You know, baseball is more your thing, and I like the Dodgers. But let's go with Tampa. Tampa. So first game. Game 1. Tampa.
You're gonna go with Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go with LA. I think the LA Dodgers end up winning Game 1. Marcus Mack, that's gonna conclude episode 99 of the EAC Show. Make sure you click like, subscribe on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Please, on social media, on Twitter and on Instagram, hit us with a like, follow us on all social media platforms. We create our own original content. And be on the lookout for all content, either on social media or on YouTube. We really do appreciate it.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.